30 at their place earlier in the year.
It's not getting any easier.
Not easier. Of course, also UAlbany went to Vermont last year and won the America East Championship. So who knows? We'll see how it unfolds, starting with Stony Brook tonight and the play-by-play coming up on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
They asked me if I mind doing a commercial in the rain. I said, at this number, I'd love to do it. And I'm here to tell you, by the way, Billy Basillo Sr., the all-new Fusillo Volkswagen. Folks, don't miss the opportunity to come in. We have over 50 to choose from, $199 a month. Now, that's incredible. No money down, 0 down. It's a sign and drive lease. You're not going to want to miss the opportunity. The all-new 2014 VW Passat, where everything is das huge.
Life has challenges. Being a mom, challenges. Being an owner and a general manager of a car dealership, yeah, it has challenges too. I have a lot of challenges, but do you know what's easy for me? Selling any Volkswagen you want for less, without all the games and gimmicks that you end up paying for anyway. Get a real 0 down lease on a 2014 Jetta for only $185 per month. I make it simple in a life full of challenges. Be one at Niemer.
Car shopping? Don't let slick pricing hit you where it hurts. Make Keeler Honda your dealer. Bluetooth, a backup camera, and a dashboard music display are all standard on a new 2013 Honda Civic LX. Make it yours for just $85 per month. Need a roomier ride? Take home a new 2014 Honda Accord LX with the same cutting-edge features for only $100 per month. Find us at 1111 Troy Schenectady Road, Latham, or view our inventory online at KeelerHonda.com.
My dealer is Keeler.
Some roads start early. Hours before anyone is awake. Months before the season starts. Years before the competition. We don't know where the road will take you, but we'd be happy to get you there. BMW, proud partner of the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic teams. We only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine.
Come into Keeler BMW today or visit us online at bmw.keeler.com.
My dealer is Keeler.
Welcome back to SEFCU Arena. Time for the introduction of the starting lineups. First for the 7-0 in the America East Conference Seawolves from Stony Brook. They will start Dave Coley, a 6'2 senior guard, averaging 11.7 a game. Ahmad Walker, a freshman. Also Eric McAllister, a 6'8 senior. Jameel Warney, a 6'8 sophomore, 15 a game along with 8 rebounds. And Anthony Jackson gets the start tonight at the other guard spot, averaging 13.9 a game. He is the senior. Coming off the bench will be Carson Purifoy, who usually is in that starting lineup. For UAlbany, they'll go with DJ Evans, averaging 11 a game from Brandon, Mississippi. Peter Hooley, 14 points per game, a sophomore from Hondorf, South Australia. Sam Rowley, 11 points a game, a 6'6 junior forward from Sydney, Australia. Gary Johnson, 6'6 senior from Moreno Valley, California. And John Puck, a 6'10 senior center from Waterloo, Iowa. The head coaches are Steve Peichel in his 10th year, 15-6 overall, and Will Brown in his 13th year, 10-10, 4-3 in the America East. All right, Zach, what needs to happen here for Will Brown's team tonight to get things turned around here?
Well, it's going to sound rather elementary, but I talked to an assistant coach from UAlbany before the game, and I said, if you could sum this thing up in one thesis statement, what will you need to do to beat Stony Brook? And the answer I got was score the basketball. They need to score. That will slow down Stony Brook a little bit in transition because they'll have to take the ball out. It lets Albany set up their defense in a half-court set, and it makes Stony Brook play a half-court offensive approach. And I think they want to slow down the Seawolves a little bit because they can really get it and go if they pull down a defensive rebound.
UAlbany leads the overall series, as you saw there, 36-25, and they won the last meeting right here on this court. And as you pointed out, there's no doubt this team remembers exactly what happened here in March. So we're set to go. It'll be the two big guys, Puck, and that is Eric McAllister, who jumps center. And we're underway here at SEFCU Arena. And only 9 games left on the UAlbany schedule before the tournament is going to be held right here at SEFCU again. And then things will change after this season. There's Warney backing in with the right hand, misses the shot. And Gary Johnson is going to have to play big on the defensive end, gets the rebound. Man-to-man defense, right, Zach? A lot of man-to-man out of Stony Brook tonight.
Yep, you're going to see majority man-to-man, but I wouldn't be surprised if at some point Steve Peichel throws that zone defense on that's really stymied the Great Danes in great stretches this season.
And the shot by Sam Rowley is blocked by McAllister. Nice feed, and McAllister with the jam off the feed by Ahmad Walker, the 6'4" freshman. This is a team that is coming off a lopsided win against Maine last Sunday. They got 46 points in the paint against Stony Brook.
And that was a season high for them. And that's what they want to do. They want to get to the rim, have dump-off passes like they just had to McAllister, Warney finishing.
And that's what UAlbany's going to do against the man-to-man, Zach. Get to the rim, drive. That really is their game this year. And that's, if they can do that tonight and limit that, they can hang around here. Get to the rim, get fouled, and get to the line.
And that's certainly going to be the recipes for success, because Albany has shown throughout the season that they're not a great shooting team from the perimeter. A three-point shooting, even 17 and out, they have trouble. And for the first 80% of this season, where they made up those deficiencies was at the free throw line. But we've seen in the past couple games them sputter a little bit from the charity stripe.
I mean, just a couple of games ago, they were the number 2 ranked team in the country.
Yep, all Division I basketball.
They have struggled the last 2 games. Gary Johnson makes 1 for 2. And there's puck pushing and shoving down low against Warney. Warney's going to get a lot of touches tonight. Walker, the freshman, off the back of the iron. The rebound to DJ Evans. And where is this offense going to come from tonight? That is certainly a key. Peter Hooley struggling on the road at New Hampshire. Due to break out a little bit tonight, and they turn the ball over. John Puck does. And I did talk to Sam Rowley, who's had the injured wrist, and we don't, Will Brown doesn't want to use any excuses, but Rowley's not been 100%. He said he's feeling much better. He said he's going to probably be able to use that right hand more tonight than he ever has in the last couple of 3 weeks, last couple of 3 games. Shot clock winding down here, and the ball in the hands of Anthony Jackson, the senior. Shot clock at 10. McAllister to Warney, spins, and what a move with the left hand, and lays it in.
He shows a flash of just why he is averaging the most points since the start of the season. Is Jameel Warney, a quick little spin move and just loses the big 6'10" center, John Puck.
Pull-up jumper by Gary Johnson, no good. And rebound to Coley, the senior. He pushes. Levon Shengalia in street clothes on the bench as McAllister misses. Johnson the rebound, but it was picked by Coley.
So crafty as Coley. You get to see him strip the ball away. He's one of the best all-around players in the America East. He's the best defender in the league on the perimeter. Got the pull-up jumper. Can also, you see, get on the board with some steals.
And Stony Brook turned it over as Walker let it go right past him and out of bounds. Walker, the freshman, a reigning 2-time champion, America Rookie of the Week, as Warney takes a seat on the bench here. And checking in is Anthony Mayo, a 6'10" junior for Steve Peichel. Straight up man-to-man defense. We'll see if UAlbany can get some touches down low to that guy, Sam Rowley, but that shot's blocked by McAllister.
And that's the second shot attempt already in the first 4 minutes of this game. That was blocked by the longer and more athletic McAllister.
Mayo Solo turns on the baseline and shoots over puck, misses. Rebounds by Rowley, saved it from going out of bounds, and a foul. McAllister with a reach-in foul on John Puck, and we get a commercial timeout. 15:49 to go first half, and UAlbany down 4-1 to Stony Brook on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
Wednesday.
I love you. I mean, thank you.
You're welcome.
Share the love with delicious heart-shaped donuts from Dunkin'. Try the new cookie dough donut today. America runs on Dunkin'.
I smell brown sugar and cinnamon. You baking cookies?
No.
Crumb cake? Babka? Cobbler? Making cinnamon buns?
It's...
Oh, I bet it's the neighbors.
Get any Dunkin' small hot or iced latte for just 99 cents after 2 p.m. Hurry in today. America runs on Dunkin'.
Welcome to the Camry Thrill Ride.
I had no idea we were capable of doing something like that.
Like, maybe look at Camry different.
Right now.
Toyota Camry. Let's go places.
With about 9 games to go in the regular season, here's the America East Conference standings. Stony Brook 7-0, followed by Vermont at 6-1. Then UAlbany and Hartford tied at 4-3. UMass Lowell, first year in the conference, doing a nice job, 4-4. New Hampshire's 3-4, UMBC 2-5, and Binghamton is 1-6. And Vermont comes here for the big purple ground. There you see Sam Rowley. They need his offense tonight. They also, Zach, need him to stay out of foul trouble.
No, I don't think there's any question about it. It's really been a thorn in his side all season long. Is the early foul trouble. Doesn't have one registered to his name yet, but he's got to make that consistent.
And they get Peter Hooley with a travel. Try a little jump step in the lane there to make the pass, but a walking violation against Hooley.
You see him being aggressive, just one too many steps there.
Still a 4-1 game. About 5 minutes in. Walker, the freshman, working against DJ Johnson, steps back and hits. That was impressive. Ahmad Walker stepped right back and pumped in the three-point shot, 7-1.
And how about the confidence from a freshman in Ahmad Walker? He's the reigning America East Rookie of the Week. He also won the award the week before last.
3-second violation is called on Sam Rowley. So not the start here that Will Brown wanted. Some turnovers, too many of them, and you're down 7-1.
That's a third turnover already, and they're also 0 for 3 from the field. Haven't even gotten really a quality shot up yet. Also had 2 shots blocked already, so really nothing going the way of UAlbany here early stages.
And an offensive foul. Puck takes the charge by Jamil Warney.
And that is one recipe for success. Put the big Jamil Warney in foul trouble. That's already one to the big fella, probably the best player in the conference. But he's coming off a 6-point game at Maine because he only played 16 minutes due to foul trouble. If you can put Steve Peichel in a position where he feels like he needs to put Jamil Warney on the bench for the remainder of a half, that's a big exploitation possibility for UA.
You know, Warney has a .660 field goal percentage, which is #1 in the, not only the America East, but in the NCAA.
It's incredible.
Surprised he's not in double digits in rebounding. A nice move, patented move by Sam Rowley with the left hand off the glass. And they'll need a lot of that tonight. Walker at the top of the key. Warney comes out with it. Comes out on the wing. Nice strong take by Walker. And he lays it in with the left hand. 9-3.
And going back to Ahmad Walker, you know you're some sort of talent if you go take an upperclassman's spot here on this talent-rich Stony Brook team. And he's forced Steve Peichel to play him.
Pull-up jumper by DJ Evans. Nice move by DJ Evans. Young man, a senior out of Brandon, Mississippi, having a nice season, averaging 11 points a game for Will Brown's team.
He really has had a good season. He was the only bright spot against New Hampshire a couple days ago. He had a career-high 22.
Reverse layup. Warney. Give up the baseline, and Warney will burn you.
Yep, and he's got that spin move, especially over his right shoulder. He's so comfortable. And that time using the rim as a sealant, finishing on the opposite side where it can't get blocked.
Gary Johnson is going to get some foul shots up as he has a strong take to the rim. What was the protocol when you were a player in terms of giving up baseline?
Well,
you force him to the middle, or do you let him go baseline?
No,
when I was playing, you forced him to the middle. You didn't give up the baseline. Has that changed?
I was always taught that you do not give up the middle. That's when defenses break down. You force them to baseline where you have a help side rotation, hopefully blocking them off right at the start of that lane line.
See, that was different than 100 years ago when I played. Puck in and out on the 10-footer as Luke Devlin has checked in. And so has Dallas Enema in the lineup for UAlbany. Good to see Luke get some playing time tonight. He's been out with a shoulder injury. Did not play last couple of games. Jackson for three off the mark, and let's see, a rebound foul on McAllister with a push going for the rebound.
And that's going to be the second foul on McAllister. He's going to go have a seat next to the assistants over there on the Stony Brook bench. That's a big loss. He started every single game this year for Stony Brook. Plays almost 30 minutes a game, does McAllister. He's already had a big impact on the game. Blocks Sam Rowley's spot twice, has a big dunk on the first possession. That's a big loss for Stony Brook.
They are deep, though. Scott King comes in 6'10" sophomore to replace McAllister, the 6'8" senior. So only 5 points so far for UAlbany. DJ Evans, short rebound Puck. Back up with the right hand. Hook shot in the lane is good by John Puck.
Well, I'll tell you what, partner, John Puck's coming off a 1-for-9 performance against New Hampshire, where not one of those shot attempts came in the paint. That's what they want to see John Puck doing. Deep in the post, a high right-handed hook. That's a shot he can consistently make.
Chris Bailey wearing 23 as a freshman at 6'5" is in the game, but that's not him. That's Dave Coley, 6'2" senior. Double-digit scorer, and he buries the three.
I've had the privilege of watching most of Dave Coley's career, and he's one of the best players in the conference and one of my favorites to watch. Beat you from the outside, beat you from mid-range, great defender.
Luke Devlin for two. And the senior from Australia on the left baseline gets the shot to go down.
It's good to see him back in action, putting the ball in. They needed his production.
And then he commits the foul at the other end on Ben Resner, the senior. We'll step aside for a timeout. 14-9. Stony Brook leads UAlbany in the Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
You have something new, something borrowed, and something blue. Right. Just need to find you something old. Something old. What are you doing?
It's a DSL modem. Seriously, what's older than DSL internet?
You know you don't have to settle.
Excuse me?
For outdated internet. Time Warner Cable now offers everyday low-price internet for $14.99 a month, and it's not a promotional price.
I've been waiting for this day my whole life.
Get everyday low-price internet for $14.99 a month every day guaranteed. Just call 1-855-WANT-TWC or visit TWC.com today. Time Warner Cable. Enjoy better.
Hey folks, Caroline here at the huge news event at Fusillo Kia of Schenectady. I'm here with the 2014 Kia Optima. We were just talking a moment ago, and I believe you said, well, he seems a bit camera shy, but if I may paraphrase, I believe it was $239 a month with zero down on the 2014 Optima with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Did I get that right? Okay, good. And what would you say that is? Indeed.
14-9 early on here. Stony Brook leading UAlbany. Early thoughts, Zach, of a 14-9 game here with 11:17 to go.
Well, considering the way the first 3 minutes went for UAlbany, I'd say it feels pretty good from a Great Danes perspective. They had 3 turnovers, got their shot blocked twice, and really didn't get a good look at the hoop, but they're only down 5 and have strung a couple really nice possessions here together. And if you look how Stony Brook scored, take away Warney, they've been some tough shots on the perimeter. They did have the one dunk from McAllister, but if you can force Stony Brook into taking 3-pointers and Albany stays consistent from the field, they have a real shot to upset the #1 team in the America East.
Resner at the line. He's a 6'2 senior.
He's only played 9 games this year.
On my depth chart, he's way down on my depth chart. I've got the top, and then I got the middle, and I got guys that probably won't get in the game tonight, and I had Ben Resner as one of those guys.
I'll tell you, Resner is the guy who doesn't play, not because he's not good, but just all the talent that Steve Peichel has on the Stony Brook team. They got 6th and 7th men that would start around the league.
That's exactly what they need from Dallas Enema. You get open looks like that, gotta bury them, and Dallas Enema can do it.
He's been a nice spark this year.
And a block at the other end by Enema. And then he gets it right back, and he's going to shoot 2 foul shots. Well, that's good play by Enema. Makes a 3, hustles back on defense, gets a block, hustles back on offense, gets it back, draws the foul on the drive to the lane, and he's going to shoot 2.
Well, I'll tell you what, it'd be hard to imagine Dallas Enema not in this playing group the way that he's been able to produce in the last 10 games or so. But this is a freshman from Sheldon, Iowa, who did not appear in the first 10 games of the season, but he came off the bench against Yale, played 10 minutes, had 8 points, knocked down 2 3-pointers, and was the America East Rookie of the Week. And since then, he's been the first or second guard that comes off Will Brown's bench if you want to spell one of the guards or someone's in foul trouble.
And he makes 1 of 2. Now, Ben Resner went out, and he was replaced by Cameron Mitchell, who's a redshirt freshman at 6'4".
And there's another kid who barely plays. He's only appeared in 5 games this year, averages less than a half a point, but he's playing a big game here.
And I was just going to say, he's down on my depth chart, too. And then have Resner or Mitchell of guys that are going to see significant minutes tonight. So something's going on with Steve Peichel here.
Well, he's giving his guys an opportunity. Maybe he wants to baptize some of these younger guys by fire.
It's a 3-point game, 16-13. Stony Brook as Johnson goes barreling, and that was the problem. He lowered the shoulder and went barreling into the lane, and that is an offensive foul.
And he actually went to go tuck the basketball into his stomach, much like Marshawn Lynch will try to do this Sunday. Try to hit the hole, and anytime you lower your head like that and you're not exposing the basketball like you're trying to hit an A-gap and you just got to hand it off from the quarterback, that's an easy call for the official.
Yeah, I don't think that was a hard charging foul to call on Gary Johnson.
But I'll tell you what, Gary Johnson's a player that sometimes is a little bit timid offensively. It's actually nice to see him show a little aggression.
That could have been an offensive foul, too. Instead, the big man, Warney, can hit that mid-range jump shot. Back to a 5-point lead as we go inside 10 minutes to go here at SEFCU Arena. Roger Weiland, Zach By on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Deflected out of bounds by Warney as we have some substitutions as Mayo's coming back in. Warney will go out. And there you see John Puck coming in, and Sam Rowley goes out. Luke Devlin also went out of the lineup, and Michael Rowley, Sam's brother, a freshman, has entered the lineup as well. Peter Hooley gets off the shot, and Rowley gets the rebound. Figure they got to get Peter Hooley going a little bit tonight, too. Don't they, to win this game as Gary Johnson with about 3 on the shot clock buries a 3. That's not really his game.
That's the first 3-point attempt on the season for Gary Johnson, and it does not hit the rim. Wow.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
Yeah,
You're real proud that you got Gary Johnson launching and hitting a 3, and it's a 2-point game. Long 3 by no good. Pop the rebound, and UAlbany can tie or go in front for the first time. And there's the shot that Peter Hooley likes.
And we say it time and again, Roger, when Peter Hooley's got his feet set, he's a problem.
Speaking of feet set, that is Cameron Mitchell, the redshirt freshman.
And we asked why he was on the floor. Steve Peichel knows exactly why he's on the floor. Probably shows him every single day in practice. Got an opportunity. He's making the most of it right now.
21-19, back to a 2-point Stony Brook lead. Good-looking shot in the lane by Pop. And a push on Stony Brook on the rebound. Let's see who they're going to get. No, this is going to go against Michael Rowley on the rebound.
I'll tell you what, I thought they were going to call offensive goaltending because when the ball was rattling around, it looked like that net got pulled a little bit by a Stony Brook player.
Partner, I did too, because that ball was up there around the cylinder and I saw the net. I thought they were going to call that as well and count the bucket, but they didn't, as Warney, number 20 there on your screen, checks back in. Here comes Sam Rowley right back in. Dallas Enema goes out for UAlbany. Good minutes off the bench for Dallas Enema, the freshman. 8 minutes to go in a 2-point game here at SEFCU Arena. The freshman, that's Anthony Jackson, the senior. Peter Hooley on him. Warney on the baseline, working against John Pock with the right hand, and he is just tough.
And he is about as good as it gets at the mid-major level at the center position, which, you know, you got a big center that's skilled like that can also hit the mid-range. He gets gobbled up by BCS conference. He's here playing in the America East. Problem child.
Yeah, your best chance with him is hope he gets into foul trouble early. Get him on the bench. Good, strong take down the lane by Gary Johnson. Now that is the game of Gary Johnson right there. Back to a 2-point game.
And he's playing some of his best basketball he's ever played in a UAlbany uniform. 4 straight games in double figures, first time in his career.
Jackson hits again. And we've got timeout by Stony Brook as they're going to put a substitution in. Chris Braley, a 6'5" freshman, is going to enter the lineup. Now, I do have him in the playing group. And Will Brown's team down by 4. 7 minutes to go.
And you got to like how Will Brown's UAlbany team has responded here. And, you know, it's easy sometimes to stay within yourself, but going against a guy like Jameel Warney.
Speaking of him, he can go to work, can he? Off to a great start here offensively, and he's not in foul trouble. We'll watch these moves. There they let him go. They give up the baseline, which I guess you say that's what they do. I am always cut off baseline, but they let him go baseline. And then if he wants, he's more than capable of hitting that mid-range jumper. There he makes a hook shot in the lane. And so far, living up to everything tonight that we've been praising him for since the pregame. He's averaging 15.4 a game.
And if you see the way he scored on the left side of the hoop, the right side of the hoop, the jump hook from the middle of the lane, the elbow jumper. He's a...
Did you see his numbers against Detroit earlier in the year?
Huge. Huge.
Nice move by Sam Rowley, and he's going to draw the foul and will shoot 2. Foul is on Anthony Mayo. Timeout, the 4-point game on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled commercial with breaking news from Fusillo Ford here in East Greenbush. If you're a truck buyer, you want to pay close attention to this. We've just been informed, brand new F-150s, $22,597 right here at Fusillo Ford in East Greenbush. $22,597 for a brand new F-150. My goodness, that is huge news. And just an example, stay tuned for more from Fusillo Ford in East Greenbush. It's huge.
Value, service, selection. Expect it all this new year at Leah Toyota in Colony with the Leah Smart Buy Advantage, including our best advertised price, $500 over Edmunds for your trade, and more. New Leah Corolla L's, just $237 a month. Only first payment due at signing. Or a new RAV4, $287 a month. Only first payment due at signing. Get financing as low as 0%. Leah Toyota in Colony. Open 7 days a week or leahcars.com.
Leah.
Johnson off to a good start for UAlbany, and that is really not his game, but he drains the three. That's a great sign for him, and this is what Gary Johnson does best, get to the rim. And that'll be key tonight against the man-to-man defense. And his average coming in there with field goal percentage and assists and rebounds and points per game at 10. Fourth in the America East in field goals. Done a nice job, having a nice little senior season here for Gary Johnson, young man out of Moreno Valley, California.
And you know what? He's a very easy kid to root for. Very mild-mannered, soft-spoken, comes from a really a great family. And I had a chance to sit down with his mom earlier in the season. She's so proud of him. And I saw them after the Maine game. He had 28 points against Maine and talked to his mom on the phone. And she was just elated for him. And he's really paid his dues here, transferred in, didn't play the first half of last season, got his opportunity and never really came out of the playing group. And he's playing his best basketball ever in a UAlbany uniform. 4 consecutive games of being in double figures, 61 points over that stretch. He's been playing out of his mind.
Those foul shots by Sam Rowley are big because he has not been making foul shots the last couple of games, and his wrist has been really hurting him. And he said before the game, you know what, it's more of a mental thing for me right now than anything else. And he had a 10-second violation called against Stony Brook. So to see Sam Rowley step up and make 2 foul shots back-to-back, that's really a key sign if you're Will Brown and UAlbany.
100% agreement for me, Roger. And, you know, up until about 5 games ago, he's shooting almost 70% from the line. And then in the last 5 games, he's only made 1 free throw. So you talk about a positive sign. That is super positive for every member of that UAlbany coaching staff.
And so far, he's been able to stay out of foul trouble, which is key here in this first half. Mike Rowley and a blocking foul. That will go against Coley, the senior. There have not been a ton of fouls called in this game so far. That's the 8th team foul. So UAlbany is in the 1-1, but only 3 fouls, 3 team fouls called on the Great Danes here in this first half. And I think Michael Rowley's another player, Zach, that has gotten better as this season has moved on, and as freshmen can do. It takes a little time, and I think Mike's in the playing group right now as well.
Yeah, he certainly is. And he was a guy who started the season, didn't really play much, just like Dallas Enema. And then you can't imagine them not in the playing group right now. He's appeared in 16 games and has been more and more consistent as time's gone on.
And he steps up and makes 2 foul shots for Will Brown's team, who has tied this game up at 25 apiece. As we come up on 6 minutes to go here in this first half. UAlbany pressuring the perimeter, making it very difficult for them to try to get the ball inside to their bigs. That looked like a walk on Jackson. No call. Tip-in's no good, and Sam Rowley the rebound. This is the court where they will play the America East tournament come March.
And who could forget this game last year against Stony Brook, the #2 seed. Albany finished 5th in the conference, got a 4 seed because BU was disqualified from the tournament. And every single student here stormed the floor. I'll never forget that, how that felt calling this game here with you. That was an incredible moment.
The shot clock winding down. DJ Evans hits again. And that gives UAlbany a 2-point lead, 27-25, and a near steal by Gary Johnson in the backcourt. Foul on Michael Rowley. That's the 4th team foul on UA. And he fouls Anthony Jackson, the senior. There'd be no foul shots up here. Be a side out. There you see Rowley committing the reach-in foul. And Michael Rowley is going to come out. Peter Hooley back in the game for the Great Danes. Peter averaging 14 points a game. Scott King, 35 there, is back in, and he replaces Anthony Mayo. Mitchell and Jackson and Coley on the perimeter right now for the Seawolves. Nice pass by Warney out of the post. Mitchell with the drive. That was blocked by Hooley. Coast to coast comes Roley, dumps it off to Gary Johnson, and the layup is good, and that's the biggest lead UAlbany has had as they're up by 4, 29-25. Jackson with a runner in the lane, no good, and a foul on John Puck over the back on the rebound. 15 foul on UA.
And what a great finish there by Gary Johnson, who by the time he released the basketball was under the hoop. So you can see the replay here of the frustration foul from John Puck after giving up the offensive rebound. Gary Johnson just looks like he's ready to make a play every single time he touches the basketball. He couldn't always say that for his time here at UAlbany.
Warney passes to King, to Coley. Trying to get to Warney, and they do. A lot of success when they get the ball into that man's hands, and that time he lost control of it. And here comes Sam Rowley. Off the back of the iron, no good, and Warney the rebound.
And I think Will Brown might have wanted him to pull that back out. You know, Sam Rowley loves to get it and go, and that's a luxury as a coach to have your forward be able to pull down a defensive rebound and put it on the floor for 90 feet. But you probably don't want to pull up for a mid-range jumper in the middle of the lane in transition.
Coley with a awkward drive that did not have good results, and now Evans coast to coast, and he scores. UAlbany takes a 6-point lead on undefeated Stony Brook. They come in 7-0 in the conference. UAlbany with some call it a bad loss.
Yep, for sure.
On the road, a 10-0 run right now by this Great Danes team to go up by 6.
Well, you gotta love the way they've responded after losing 2 of their last 4 to 3-win teams. Here they are, one of the best mid-majors in the country with a lead.
And Warney gets an and 1 on a foul by John Puck. We'll take a timeout. 3:08 to go. Good one here at SBU, 31-27. UAlbany on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
Billy Fusillo, you won't believe the news this month, because I guarantee you one thing, it will be huge.
Well, there certainly is huge news right here at Fusillo Hyundai on State Street here in Schenectady, especially when you can drive home a brand new Hyundai Elantra, $219 down and only $219 a month at Fusillo Hyundai. Not 1 or 2, many of these to choose from, all with that 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty and 5-year roadside assistance. Get to Fusillo Hyundai. The news is huge.
You have something new, something borrowed, and something blue. Right. Just need to find you something old. Something old. What are you doing?
It's a DSL modem. Seriously, what's older than DSL internet?
You know you don't have to settle.
Excuse me?
For outdated internet. Time Warner Cable now offers everyday low-price internet for $14.99 a month, and it's not a promotional price.
I've been waiting for this day my whole life.
Get everyday low price internet for $14.99 a month every day guaranteed. Just call 1-855-WANT-TWC or visit TWC.com today. Time Warner Cable. Enjoy better.
UAlbany on top of Stony Brook 31-25, and a team playing with a sense of urgency, which is exactly what Will Brown wants his team to do here tonight.
We've just got to compete at a very high level, you know, and have more of a sense of urgency. That's been our biggest issue right now. You know, we go out there, we play hard, but we don't have that sense of urgency that we need, and it would be nice to see if we can have that for 40 minutes tonight.
Well, so far, they've played like it.
Well, you know what? One thing that needs to be made clear is that competing over 40 minutes is a skill. You know, sometimes guys say, hey, you know, either you're born with it, this competitive gene, or you're not. But really, that can be developed over time and playing as hard as they need to play for 40 minutes. I think it's something that they've learned through trial and error with games against the likes of UMass Lowell, Binghamton, and UNH, whether it comes in a win or loss.
And Jamil Warney now the first player in this game in double digits. He has 11 and completes the three-point play, and the lead by UA is 3. Gary Johnson has 8 points to lead UAlbany.
Danes shooting over 57%.
That's a nice crossover dribble. And got to the rim again and get fouled, and will shoot more foul shots. Foul is on Cameron Mitchell, and that's who he went right around.
I mentioned just a couple seconds ago, it looks like Gary Johnson's ready to make a play every single time he touches the ball. And it's not like he multiplied his skill set since he came on campus. It's a big confidence thing with Gary Johnson. He just feels like he's here, he belongs. And the only regret inside the program is that this kid's gone after this year, after only being here for 2 years from transferring. They would love to have him for another.
Now 1 of 3 from the line, 6 of 9 for UAlbany tonight. Coming off a couple of tough nights at the charity stripe. Otherwise, they've been really good. It's been a bright spot the way they've been able to shoot foul shots. Johnson makes 1 out of 2. And he now has 9 points as Steve Peichel and his staff look on here. His team down by 4. Late stages of the first half. Students are back and they're out tonight, which is a nice sight, and I'm sure they'll be out of the big purple ground this weekend. We'll talk to the president, Robert Jones, coming up at halftime. Jackson with an underhand shot. I don't know if it was a shot or a pass, but it lands in the lap of Jamil Warney, and it's a 2-point game, and Warney now with 13 points in the first half.
Well, I'll need to see a replay to be for sure, but that looked like a pass, and what vision it had. He left it up just long enough for Warney to get it.
Cooley is short on a 3 ball from the left corner. Mitchell almost stepped out of bounds. Pull-up jumper, Jackson to tie it, no good. Luke Devlin the rebound. Here comes Johnson again to the lane, and he can't get it to go, almost. That would have been a spectacular one if that dropped, but he will get himself back to the foul line. And Zach, I said this before, with the way Stony Brook plays, UAlbany will get to the rim tonight. If they can get to the rim and make foul shots, watch the foul shooting percentage of UAlbany tonight and see where it's at. And let's see how many foul shots they get up tonight. So far, they've done a pretty good job. They got to the line 9 times here in this first half.
And I think Gary Johnson's a big part of that. And he'll have his 3rd and 4th attempt from the free throw line. You can see him do that Euro step in transition. If you see him in transition, Gary Johnson, he loves to go to that extended Euro step, and he's got the athleticism to pull it off quite nicely. It's worked more effectively this year than it ever has in his playing career.
Now he sinks both foul shots. He's having a strong first half, and UAlbany up by 4. About 1:30 to go, and the turnover because Coley stepped out of bounds, stepped on the line, and it's a turnover against Stony Brook. Boy, they get out to a really good start, like 11-5.
Yep.
And then UAlbany has really outplayed them from about that point on here as we come up on the end of the first half.
I would agree with that.
And a foul as, again, Sam Rowley gets to the rim, so he's going to shoot foul shots. Scott King, the 6'10 sophomore, with the foul.
And a part of that success, Roger, you mentioned Albany outplaying them from maybe about the 15-minute mark on. In the first 4 minutes of the game, Albany turned the basketball over 4 different times. They've only turned it over once since then. Valuing the basketball is a big part of what Will Brown preaches day in and day out. You're seeing a calculated approach from the Danes here, especially down the stretch here this first half.
I'm telling you, I don't want to overplay it, but Sam Rowe has not been shooting foul shots very well because of his wrist.
Yep.
And tonight, that looks more like what we're used to out of Sam Rowley, which leads me to believe when he told me before the game the wrist is getting a lot better, and it is. And that maybe mentally now he needs to just settle down and not worry about it so much and play, and he's doing that. 6-point UAlbany lead, about a minute to go. Nice steal by Sam Roy. Went to it right around from Warney, and then the lay-in by Peter Hooley is no good. And back the other way comes Jackson. Jackson on the right wing. Gets to the foul line. Passes left side to Coley. And now they'll take their time here with 20 to shoot. 35 seconds left in the first half. And we'll talk to Will Brown at halftime, and I would think for the first half, he'd be very pleased. Warney backing in on Devlin on the baseline. Open Mitchell for three, and it's good. Cameron Mitchell hits a three, and it's a three-point game. 10 seconds to go, and the Great Danes will get the last shot here. And it'll be taken by Evans, and he got it. And that will do it. What a way to end the first half. UAlbany up 38-33 on Stony Brook. And outside of the first 5 minutes of this game, UAlbany has played very good basketball. They're getting to the rim, getting to the foul line, and shooting a pretty good percentage. Here's my partner, Zach By. Zach?
Coach Brown, after 20 minutes of play, how do you think your team responded to the challenge of playing the league's best team?
Well, we're playing good basketball. We haven't played good basketball in a while. Got off to a little bit of a slow start, and then I thought we did a nice job on both ends of the floor. It's only 20 minutes, but the way we've been playing of late, it's the best 20 minutes we've played since Hartford. It's a long game. Stony Brook's the best team in our league for a reason. I expect them to come out and play well in the second half. We came out and played 20 minutes with a sense of urgency and somewhat of a killer instinct, which has been missing for a while for us. Now we've got to see if we can carry it over to the second half. But the first 20 minutes was carryover from the last 3 days of practice. It was good to see, but we have a lot of basketball left to play.
Coach, good luck second half.
Thanks. I like your tie better than a red one.
Thank you, Coach. Sense of urgency, obviously the name of the game. Back to you, Roger.
All right, Zach, boy, he's just torturing my partner, Zach By. We'll come back. Robert Jones, the president, will be joining me. First half analysis as well. UAlbany up 5 on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
If you're tired of nothing but bad news when it comes to financing, we have good news at Fusillo Hyundai here in Schenectady. It's called FiveLiner.com. As you know, we have helped thousands establish and reestablish their credit over the years, and it's as easy as logging on to FiveLiner.com. 5 minutes, fill out about 5 lines. Chances are really good with all the different lenders that Billy has. We'll find the terms that suit your needs. Log on today to FiveLiner.com and see how you can be huge.
Trying to save money this new year? Then get to Leah Honda in Albany and lease for less during the Leah January sales event. Choose to drive home a new Honda Civic or Honda Fit, both just $69 a month. Or get into the all-new 2014 CR-V EXL, Leah priced at $149 a month. Plus, get 0.9% financing on Leah Honda's hottest models. Lease for less during the Leah January sales event. Leah Honda in Albany, open 7 days a week or at leahcars.com.
Leah.
Leah Hyundai of Albany is setting new standards this new year with the Leah Smart Buy Advantage, which includes our best advertised price guarantee, $500 over Edmunds for your trade, and more. Lease new 2013 Leah Elantras, just $155 a month, or a new Tucson, just $299 a month, or lease a new 2014 Sonata, Leah priced $199 a month. That's right, $199 a month. Leah Hyundai in Albany, open 7 days a week, or leahcars.com.
Leah.
Every chapter of your life is a new beginning.
And every page that's turned requires thought on what's to come.
That's why we're here.
The people at North Star Chevrolet believe forming real relationships
is the only way to truly help customers find the vehicles
that fit their needs for every phase of their lives.
Our responsibility is to be there and listen, whether you need to make a decision today,
tomorrow, or months down the road.
And to be dependable so your vehicle gets proper maintenance.
The people at North Star Chevrolet.
We're here for every part of your life story.
Now UAlbany with a strong first half, and they have the lead on Stony Brook 38-33 behind Gary Johnson's 11, and DJ Evans has 8 points. Roger Weiland and Zach By back with you at SEFQ. The other stat is they've gotten to the foul line 14 times. They've made 11, and Stony Brook only got to the foul line 3 times in the first half.
You know, it's interesting because in the game of basketball, they say you can measure your aggression or assertiveness by looking at the battle on the boards, and if you're able to get to the free throw line. You mentioned 14 free throws attempted. Albany's made 11 of those, and they've also won the battle on the glass after 20 minutes, 15-10. If you do that and you prorate it over 2 halves, you win the battle on the glass by double figures. That's huge for Albany, which has been had their toughness questioned as of late.
All right, we like the play of Gary Johnson, double digits, 11. How about the performance of DJ Evans, who hits a shot right here just about at the buzzer to end the first half? He ends up with 8 points, and here we go. DJ Evans feeling confident with the jump shot right now.
And I'll tell you what, DJ Evans is a guy who, you know, I've said over the years with him here is that the phrase, you don't measure the size of the dog in a fight, but the fight in the size of the dog. They made that phrase after guys like DJ Evans, who's got the intestinal fortitude of any top player in the America East. And you know, he only goes 5'9". Right. He was a transfer. He didn't play most of last season. And here he is just taking his senior season by the horns.
And nobody appreciates his effort and performance so far this season more than his head coach, Will Brown.
DJ's been consistent for us. He's had some really good scoring nights for us, and you know, we need him to be more aggressive down the stretch offensively, because I think he's more than capable of consistently getting us double figures.
All right, that's head coach Will Brown. And look, good first half, but I think Will Brown said it perfectly. There's still 20 minutes to go, and Stony Brook is the best team in the conference. I'm sure Steve Peichel and his crew will come out with a sense of urgency as well in this second half.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about it. And, you know, one of the things my college coach, Brian Bury, used to say is not who's better, but who's better longer. And I'm sure Will Brown, who coached under the tutelage of Bury for many years over at the College St. Rose, is going to mention that to his team in the locker room right now. You have to string together two halves. You don't get a participation award after 20 minutes. They got to put 40 minutes together, see if they can knock off the #1 team.
All right, partner, when we come back, we'll talk to the president about a year in to his tenure here at the University of Albany, and that will be Robert Jones, and we'll talk to him when we come back on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
You have something new, something borrowed, and something blue. Right. Just need to find you something old. Something old. What are you doing?
It's a DSL modem. Seriously, what's older than DSL internet?
You know you don't have to settle.
Excuse me?
For outdated internet. Time Warner Cable now offers everyday low-price internet for $14.99 a month, and it's not a promotional price.
I've been waiting for this day my whole life.
Get everyday low price internet for $14.99 a month every day guaranteed. Just call 1-855-WANT-TWC or visit TWC.com today. Time Warner Cable. Enjoy better.
For the first time in their nearly 40-year history, take home select Sealy, Simmons, or Serta models for the same low price. Only at the Metro Mattress Winter Bedding Blowout. Your choice of the Sealy Posturepedic, Simmons Beauty Rest, or Serta Perfect Sleeper Queen mattress is just $399.99. Twin full and queen sets, all only $589.99 each. Or save up to $500 on select iComfort Factory closeouts. Plus ask about 48-month special financing and free delivery. The Winter Bedding Blowout ends Wednesday, so get to Metro Mattress today.
They asked me if I mind doing a commercial in the rain. I said, at this number, I'd love to do it. And I'm here to tell you, by the way, Billy Basola Sr., the all-new Fusillo Volkswagen. Folks, don't miss the opportunity to come in. We have over 50 to choose from, $199 a month. Now, that's incredible. No money down, zero down. It's a sign and drive lease. You're not going to want to miss the opportunity. The all-new 2014 VW Passat, where everything is das huge.
This is Paul's new Honda Civic, the same car that will take him and a very pretty girl on the best first date ever, with the Pandora that will set the mood on their one-year anniversary, and the Bluetooth that will remind him she's a keeper and don't mess this up, and the glove compartment that will hold everything he needs, including one very small box. Start something special now with the Civic from KBB.com's most trusted car brand. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
And we are at halftime here at SFQ. UAlbany playing well and up by 5 on Stony Brook, and they come in with a perfect 7-0 record in the America East Conference. The 19th president at the University of Albany is right next to me, and that's Robert Jones. And we certainly welcome you to our broadcast president. Nice to see you.
Good, always a pleasure.
Nice first half of the Great Danes, huh?
Absolutely. A wonderful first half. We're very, very excited. The guys are playing extremely well.
See if they can keep it up here in the second half. That would be nice. So what about a year in for you now?
I've just completed my first year anniversary. Wow. Yes.
So how have you enjoyed life in the capital region?
It's been absolutely amazing. My wife and I have been warmly welcomed by everyone. We really enjoy living in this community. We spent the first year listening and learning and traveling around the capital region, learning about the many assets of this university, but also the region. And I think we've been able to learn enough now to sufficiently articulate a vision to move the university to the next level of excellence. So we're very, very excited.
Well, it's gone by in a hurry. There's no doubt, as it always does. These months fly by, and we're already up to Big Purple Growl, which is coming up on Saturday.
Yes.
What are your thoughts about events such as the Big Purple Growl and really what they mean to the university?
Well, the Big Purple Growl and events like the Big Purple Growl are important not only to the university community, to our students, and to our faculty and staff, but they're very, very important to alumni and members of the community because it provides an opportunity for people to come together with their families to really celebrate and advance the University at Albany. You know, so it's a big community gathering, a big community celebration. So we look forward to it. It was my first time last year. I really enjoyed it. My wife is here, and she's looking forward to it as well.
Well, it's going to be a fun day, and hopefully a couple of victories against Vermont.
Absolutely.
That would be nice, too.
Yes.
All right, how about, you and I have had this conversation before, but let's have it again for those watching, and that is the success of athletics and how that helps those successful athletic teams and programs and what that means overall in the overall grand scheme of things for the university.
Well, successful athletics program, as I've said several times, is really critically important to help advance the mission of the university because a lot of the learning experience and the community building occurs outside of the classroom. And our athletics venues are one of the major ways that community building, where people inside the university, where the community can come and help provide that out of classroom learning experience. And so it's also important because student athletic programs provide an opportunity for our student athletes to gain the leadership skill, the critical thinking skills that will really carry forward to their careers. And we're very, very proud of the fact that our students and our athletic programs are student first and athlete second. We like to win, but we also enjoy a very positive experience for our students. And winning is always good, and we've won sufficiently, and so we've done pretty good.
Hey, maybe you get two more teams, both the men and the women, back to the NCAA tournament again this year.
Like I said, we can do a repeat. Absolutely.
Nice seeing you, President.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The President, Robert Jones, joining us here at halftime. We'll come back. Second half on its way on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. UAlbany up 38-33.
You know, the holiday season is behind us, folks. A lot of you spend a lot of money on Christmas. Therefore, this is very important when you go into the Facillo dealerships, because this is what you need to bring with you. No money down. Our lease is absolutely phenomenal right now, and they're all calculated with no money down. So if you think after the holiday season you can't buy a car, you're wrong. Probably the most aggressive we're ever going to be throughout the year is now. Come and see us. We're going to make you huge.
What's the worst mistake I've ever made?
That shirt.
Not letting me go live in the woods.
Not letting him go live in the woods. The muffin incident.
That was an accident. But how about getting our family stuck with this Verizon Fios contract?
Oh, yeah.
But guess what, guys? Dad's pulling this one out of the fire.
We're switching to Time Warner Cable?
That's right. Time Warner Cable doesn't require long-term contracts.
Nice.
Make the better call.
Call 1-855-WANT-TWC to get a triple play for $79.99 a month. Get 5 premium movie channels free for 3 months. Time Warner Cable. Enjoy better.
The excitement is building. It's the biggest game of the year, and Price Chopper can help you tackle the hungriest of fans with 2 of our fresh single-topping corner-to-corner pizzas, along with 2 pounds of our irresistible wings, all for just $19.99. Plus, all varieties of Cracker Barrel brick cheeses are 5 for $10. Let Price Chopper help you turn your football game party into the ultimate football game party with ultimate savings on all your big game favorites.
Value, service, selection. Expect it all this new year at Leah Toyota in Colony with the Leah Smart Buy Advantage, including our best advertised price, $500 over Edmunds for your trade, and more. New Leah Corolla L's, just $237 a month, only first payment due at signing. Or a new RAV4, $287 a month, only first payment due at signing. Get financing as low as 0%. Leah Toyota in Colony, open 7 days a week, or leahcars.com.
Leah.
First half stats read like this. UAlbany shooting 54%. Stony Brook 46. UAlbany, how about that? 60% from behind the arc, 50 for Stony Brook. Pretty good start to this game from the foul line, 7-10, 3 for 3 for Stony Brook. Rebounds, UAlbany has the 15-10 edge, and both are dead even in turnovers at 5 apiece. Sets up for a tremendous second half. Stick around on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
Thank you.
Happy Valentine's Day.
I love you. I mean, thank you.
You're welcome.
Share the love with delicious heart-shaped donuts from Dunkin'. Try the new cookie dough donut today. America runs on Dunkin'.
I smell brown sugar and cinnamon. You baking cookies?
No.
Crumb cake? Babka? Cobbler? Making cinnamon buns?
It's...
Oh, I bet it's the neighbors.
Get any Dunkin' small hot or iced latte for just 99 cents after 2 p.m. Hurry in today. America runs on Dunkin'.
My purpose? Making sense of all of this.
Less time banking.
More time tickling.
Wheels.
Sky.
2 words. New car.
Who's our partner? SEFQ.
SEFQ.
What's your purpose? If it's a new car, SEFQ can get you there with great low auto loan rates and quick approval. Just click, call, or stop by. SEFQ, banking with a purpose.
My purpose? Haven't decided. But my partner is SEFQ.
38-33. This sets up as a tremendous second half. 5-point UAlbany lead. They come in 4-3 in the conference. And in a bit of a tailspin because they lost at New Hampshire 60-56. Had a tough one right here against Binghamton, 66-60. And they were due to have a breakout game a little bit. So far for 20 minutes, they have against a team that hasn't lost a game in the conference. Stony Brook comes in 7-0.
And you look at the shooting percentage from the field, 55% and 60% from 3 for UAlbany. If you take away the main game, 2 games back on the road, this is their last 5 field goal percentages. 34%, 47%, 40%, 29%, 43%. They have not scored the ball well. And if they could hover around that 50% mark and even eclipse that 50% mark, they're putting themselves in a terrific opportunity to upset the #1 team in the America East.
It's a huge win for them with Vermont coming here on Saturday. And much like last year, UAlbany went to Vermont earlier in the year and got beat pretty good. The rematch will come in the big purple ground. And Sam Rowley had a shot blocker going right inside to Rowley. First play out of halftime. Near walk by Gary Johnson. And now Rowley has the ball knocked away and stripped. And here comes Stony Brook. Walker, the freshman. Feeds Johnson. Now they get it right back to Walker, and they're going right inside a warning. Walker's lay-in is good, all set up because of the double team around Warney. That leaves somebody open, and that somebody was the freshman Walker, and it's a 3-point game.
And you got to give Warney credit on keeping his head up while that double team ensued.
Peter Hooley, who made 1 3 in the first half, misses. Rebound on Walker. Jackson lost the handle for a second and got it back. Walker drives in, sets up Jackson for 3. No good, in and out. That would have tied it. Rebound Sam Rowley. Johnson gonna dunk it.
Are you kidding me, Roger? He puts it on the floor 1 time, and Sky from outside the lane, that might have been on the Stony Brook player as well. You talk about athleticism on this Stony Brook team. Gary Johnson packs a punch and gets off his feet.
Well, you knew what he wanted to do with that. I wasn't sure whether he could complete it, but he did. And at the other end, speaking of completing it, a possible 3-point play from Warning. Here it is again.
And that was on the head of McAllister, who tried to close out the very end of that play. And Gary Johnson makes him pay the price, puts him on a poster. Love it.
Warning in the midst of putting up some big numbers here, misses the opportunity to complete the three-point play. And the UAlbany lead is 3. We're early on here, first couple of minutes of this second half, and a good game in the America East. Another pull-up jumper by a confident shooter, missed, popped the rebound, and that's what they need out of the senior center from Waterloo, Iowa.
And they love when he's active. They don't need to run the offense through John Puck. He's not a 20-10 guy, but he is a 6'10 athletic center inside the America East. And he's on the glass offensively and defensively, and he finished right over the top of Warney as well.
Nice pass by Walker into Warney. That's good recognition by Ahmad Walker, the freshman from Port Washington, New York.
And John Puck turned his head for about 0.3 seconds. Walker found the open man quickly.
17 points for Warney. Baseline jumper, Puck is good. And UAlbany is playing well, Zach, and they're shooting the ball well, too.
John Puck and Warney in their own little debate here, back and forth, if he scored the last 2 possessions for their respective teams.
Walker into the lane, but his pass is knocked away, and Walker Coley tried to save it and can't. So the ball goes out of bounds to UAlbany as the turnover there by Stony Brook. John Puck is going to come out of the lineup, and Luke Devlin replaces him. Albany up by 5. And a whistle and a blocking foul on the drive by Walker. And Albany was very good, back to what we're more used to from them at the foul line in the first half. You thought we may see a little bit of zone out of Stony Brook. You still think that's a possibility?
I think so. And you're seeing a little bit of a matchup right now.
Yeah.
A 3-2 look from Steve Peichel's group. He wants to see UAlbany hit shots from the outside. If they're going to beat him, it's going to be from the outside. He's forcing them.
Warney with a block on Johnson, but it went out of bounds last touch by Stony Brook. With 16 to shoot. 44-39. For those of you who are listening and not watching our game, it's 44-39. With 16:29 to go, and UAlbany has the lead as Warney comes out. 17 points so far. Came in averaging 15.4 and 8.7 rebounds. That's a great look by Hooley, couldn't finish.
Oh, they'd love to have that one back.
Walker at the other end, no good. Follow dunk by McAllister, and he through, and it's a 3-point game.
And I told one of the guys from this Time Warner production team, Time Warner Cable Sports, I said, watch this kid McAllister. White, lengthy kid, gets off his feet in a hurry, and that's his second slam dunk of the game.
It's our boy Matt Rivera doing a good job for us as Sam Rowley is fouled. And we get timeout coming up. And UAlbany up by 3, 44-41 on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
In my 25 years in business, I've never seen anything like it. That's right. Billy Fusillo Sr. at Fusillo Volkswagen, and this is the price with that much down. What am I talking about? Look behind me. The 2014 VW brand new Jetta. One more time. 2014 brand new VW Jetta. In 25 years, $189 a month. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?
Warm and inviting luxury. Custom tailored design. The calm center of your otherwise hectic universe.
Do you think they've gone to sleep?
Sleepovers involve very little sleep. I'll take a look. Let's watch another movie.
We take comfort and peace and quiet to another level.
I love this basement.
Basement remodeling by Comfort Windows.
The rights to this broadcast have been granted by the University of Albany. Any rebroadcast or republication of this program without the consent of Time Warner Cable and UAlbany is strictly prohibited. This program is a production of Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. UAlbany UAlbany up 44-41. There you see the banner hanging from the rafters. The America East champs a year ago as a 4 seed. Beat Stony Brook right here on this floor in the semifinals. On to Burlington, upset Vermont in a championship game, and did a nice job in the first round against Duke in Philadelphia.
Oh, yes, they did. If you remember that game, that was like a 22, 23-point spread. Albany ended up losing by 12. It was a single-digit game with under 5 minutes to play against the Blue Devils. And you get to see the banner that they just showed, 2012-13 America East champions. That's what it's really all about. And what bid conference is about, what you do in the playoffs. That banner was hung in a year where they went 0 for 2 against Stony Brook, 0 for 2 against Vermont, 0 for 2 against Boston University. Was unable to beat anyone ahead of them in the standings all season long until push came to shove, and they did it back-to-back against the number 1 and number 2 seeds.
And a steal by DJ Evans. Took it away from Walker, and Peter Hooley is fouled at the other end. And he'll shoot 2 shots as he goes face down on the floor. Pretty hard foul. He was going strong to the rim, off the turnover at the other end.
And he's been relatively quiet as far as scoring the basketball. Speaking of Peter Hooley, who had 3 points at the half. So he had a one-track mind. He caught it in transition for only the first or second time today. Put his head down, goes right to the hoop, and the aggression pays off.
He's their leading scorer at 14 points a game.
Yep. Yeah, inside America East play, since they started the conference schedule, Peter Hooley's a #1 scorer in the America East at 16.3 per game. And he's also top 5 in the conference in 3-pointers made this year, but he's coming off one of the worst games of the year. He only had 4 points last outing against New Hampshire. Looking to change both the result and his personal production.
As McAllister checks in and Will Brown looks on as his team now has its biggest lead of the game at 7, 48-41. I like how they're pressuring the perimeter here, making it hard for the guards to get it inside. And Warney back in the game with those 17 points. They're just having a hard time finding him down low. He's earning his shots, no doubt about it. Cooley with the 3, no good. This could be an over the back against Stony Brook.
I think that's going to be on Walker.
It is.
And they'd almost rather have it on Warney.
There's Peter Hooley. That's man, he's only a sophomore.
Right.
2 more years of Peter Hooley in this program.
How about that?
How good is that?
And you're looking at both of the, you get to see the foul here on Walker on the instant replay, but Stony Brook and Albany are going to return most of their production from this year's teams, will likely be favored atop the preseason poll next season as well.
Sam Rowley going in underneath the basket. Passes it out to Johnson. How about number 3? Good save by Rowley, back to Hooley. DJ thinking about it. Instead, passes up. Baseline jumper by Devlin, no good. Sam Rowley, the rebound, up with the left hand, and it's good. And the lead goes to 9.
And Sam Rowley acting like a man on the defensive and offensive glass, and it pays off big time.
Nice interior defense again by Sam Rowley to come up with the turnover, and the finish by Hooley, offensive foul though. Peter Hooley with the charge.
And Will Brown believed that Anthony Jackson was inside the restricted circle. I did not see it for myself, but he's trying to lobby to the official that when he's in that restricted circle, that's a block regardless.
And we've got a timeout as Will Brown argues his point. At this now, lead goes up to 9. I thought maybe Stony Brook would come out and try to really make a statement in the second half early on, and maybe they did. But UAlbany has come right back to grab a 9-point lead.
And you get to see a second look here. See if he really was. No, that's a good call by the official.
He was just outside there.
Just outside of that restricted area. And it's a newer concept in college basketball. It's been a staple in the pros for a number of years now. But that was good positioning there by Jackson.
15:56 remaining, and it's a 9-point game. Or 14:18 to go, and we got a stat sheet that says 15:56 remaining. There's 14 minutes and 18 seconds to go. A long way to go here, but it's been a very well-played game by UAlbany, as he told you going into the locker room. You could tell he liked the way his team played in that first. They've come out with a strong second half. Gary Johnson leading the way right now with 13 points. And Warney leads Stony Brook with 17. And that's Anthony Jackson. He's got 5. UAlbany shooting, both teams right now shooting 50% for the game.
And it seems like, this is just the general feel that I get being here with you courtside, that every minute that goes by, more and more confidence instilled in UAlbany. And we made no bones about it during the pregame, is that UAlbany was the heavy underdog tonight to a Stony Brook team who was undefeated in league play, just went on national TV this past week and beat Vermont. They're 7-0 inside the America East. They're 15-6 overall. And they've won 6 games in a row. And they're facing a UAlbany team who just lost 2 of their last 4 games against teams that had 3 wins at the time.
Yeah, well, maybe some of those teams that we think aren't very good are probably better than what we expected.
I think that's true as well.
Partly true. And they're going to call Luke Devlin on a foul, a blocking foul against Dave Coley.
I'll tell you what, though, it's nice to see Luke Devlin back on the floor in a uniform. He had not played in 5 consecutive games, and he had been a staple this UAlbany program the last 4 years. And regardless of his health condition, he was always a common denominator when it came to UAlbany's success. So it's nice to see him not only back healthy again, or mostly healthy, but on the court and actually producing.
And it's not been really his back. It's been a shoulder injury. As Jackson goes in, tries to kiss one off glass. It's no good, but McAllister gets the rebound. It's a fresh 35. Jackson lost control that time. And it's another turnover against the Seawolves.
And Jackson was going to throw an alley-oop over the top to McAllister, but when you throw that lob, the positioning of the release is so low, defender got a hand on it.
DJ Evans for 3, and he hits again. DJ on fire here tonight, feeling very good about his outside shot. It's a double-digit lead. 53-41. Jackson pull up, no good. Last touch by McAllister. Stony Brook can do nothing right and everything going right for the Great Danes.
And DJ Evans has sort of spearheaded this charge in the last couple minutes. You get to see him here just pull the trigger. Thought he was fouled, man. It's DJ Evans' world. What are you going to tell him that he can't do? He's just 5'9", about 160 pounds, and he defends the league's best guards every night, coming off a career-high 22 points against New Hampshire. And he's a guy, you know, the way I like to phrase it is you can walk by him in the mall and have no idea the kid plays basketball, let alone on a full scholarship.
Dallas Enema draining a 3. This is kind of like the way they played against Hartman when they had those 16 threes.
Yep. And I don't think you'll see Steve Peichel throw that zone out there much longer if UAlbany continues to fire this way from the outside.
The lead balloons to 15 here in this second half by UAlbany. Warney double, triple teamed, and it went off of bounds off of Warney. And back over to UAlbany. Everything going right for the Great Danes with 12:37 to go. They're up by 15. 56-41.
I'll tell you what, if you said to me, if I wasn't at the game and you said, hey, with 12:20 left, the score is 56-41, I'd say, all right, it's about right. Stony Brook's going to, no, right. UAlbany on top by 15.
Yeah, you may have said, okay, if that's the score,
sure,
tell me the team that's in the lead. After what we've been seeing lately, you would have said, yes, Stony Brook has the lead, and it's not the case. Walker, the freshman, with a good take and a foul, and he'll shoot 2. Well, I certainly think early on in this game, UAlbany set the tone as the foul. It's called on, I believe, Rowley, who is not in foul trouble. That's another good storyline for UAlbany tonight. But I think The Great Danes set the tone early in this game by driving the ball and getting to the basket and getting to the line. And that's kind of opened their outside game up a little bit here. And then you got to make the shots, and they have. They're shooting the ball at a high percentage here.
Yep, they never settled.
They didn't, and you brought up the point in the pregame. They're going to have to score tonight. The offense is going to have to be there. If they're going to win this game, they're going to have to score some points.
And I'll tell you what, there's still 12 minutes left. Albany has as many points right now as they had in the loss against New Hampshire in the very last game.
And they're on pace to get to 70, and good things happen when UAlbany gets to 70 more points in the game.
Yep, nearly undefeated on the season.
Pressed by Stony Brook, broken by UA. Stony Brook has not made a field goal in the last 4 minutes. Thank you, Matt Rivera, doing a good job. UAlbany's on a 9-0 run to open this game up a little bit. As we near the halfway mark of the second half. Backing in is Sam Rowley. Misses the shot, grazed off the front of the iron. Rebound, Resner. To Mitchell, drops it low to McAllister. Mitchell pulls up on the baseline, short. Rebound, Mayo, fresh 35. Like the way UAlbany's played defense against this team tonight. Warney's getting his points, but no one else has really hurt them tonight. And I think that's been a big key. Last touch by Stony Brook, and another Seawolves turnover here in the second half. UAlbany have 56-42, 10:53 to go on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
What's the worst mistake I've ever made?
That shirt.
Not letting me go live in the woods.
Not letting him go live in the woods.
The muffin incident.
That was an accident. But how about getting our family stuck with this Verizon Fios contract?
Oh, yeah.
But guess what, guys? Dad's pulling this one out of the fire.
We're switching to Time Warner Cable?
That's right. Time Warner Cable doesn't require long-term contracts.
Nice.
Make the better call.
Call 1-855-WANT-TWC to get a triple play for $79.99 a month. Get 5 premium movie channels free for 3 months. Time Warner Cable. Enjoy better.
If you're tired of nothing but bad news when it comes to financing, we have good news. At Fusillo Hyundai here in Schenectady, it's called fiveliner.com. As you know, we have helped thousands establish and reestablish their credit over the years, and it's as easy as logging on to fiveliner.com. 5 minutes, fill out about 5 lines. Chances are really good with all the different lenders that Billy has. We'll find the terms that suit your needs. Log on today to fiveliner.com and see how you can be huge.
Roger Weiland, Zach Vibe, and the entire Time Warner Cable Sports crew. They do a phenomenal job as the Great Danes, as you get a look inside the SEFCU Arena lobby, have the lead. 56-42 with 10:53 remaining. And a lot of Jameel Warney, no doubt. You expected that, but as I mentioned, Zach, if you agree that they've done a really good job on everybody else.
Yeah, you know, really
and Warney is getting his points. He's above his average, but everyone else, not a whole lot of offense, and UAlbany doing a good job defensively.
Yeah, and you know, it's kind of shocking to me because Stony Brook has 4 of the top 12 scorers in the America East Conference. Jameel Warney, Anthony Jackson, Carson Purifoy, Dave Coley. Those guys all put the ball in the hoop at a high level. Albany's done a nice job.
Inside to Rowley, and the results are good. UAlbany extends the lead, 58-42. 10:31 to go. This would be a big, big win for the Great Danes. Nice speed into the man who can do no wrong down low. He gets the touches down low and almost automatic with those moves.
He just wreaks havoc. I'm not sure how you defend him because he'll square you up and knock it down in your face. He can spin over any shoulder, finish with both hands, go off glass, go straight rim. It's an impressive player.
You defend it by saying, okay, he's going to get his points. Let's stop everybody else. And that has been a big key here tonight. Double teamed. Rowley gets it to Puck on the baseline, and he walks with the ball. And UAlbany some balance here tonight, Zach. They have 3 in doubles. As you see John Puck there with the walking violation, but Gary Johnson has 13. DJ Evans has 11, and Sam Rowley has a 10. So 3 in double figures, and Enema has 7 off the bench.
Yeah, he's been impressive. Dallas Enema, and Devlin's got 2. Mike Rowley off the pine has 2 as well.
And almost another turnover. Here comes Johnson with the right hand going into the lane. So he's going left, and yet he shoots it back with the right hand, Mr. Bai.
And that's what's so hard to guard, because like I said earlier in the broadcast, when Gary Johnson goes to that Euro step, he's got the length to literally step around defenders in transition. No better example than that, than the senior from Moreno Valley, California. Again, stepping around, I believe it was Jackson, possibly Coley. You're going to get to see a second look here. He didn't think twice about pulling this out, goes right around Jackson. And you see when he leaps over him with the right foot, he seals the ball off with his body so he can release it at the rim. That's impressive.
Johnson having himself a really nice game, and UAlbany just playing really well tonight. And they're up 60-44 with 9:31 remaining.
And Gary Johnson playing the best stretch of basketball that he's ever played in his whole life, and he's doing it here. You see the stats at the bottom of the screen: 15, 2-2 on 4 of 7 shooting. And coming into the game, he had 61 points in his last 4 games. It was the first time ever in his career he's had 4 consecutive games in double figures. You can now make that 5, extending his own personal streak.
Now this team regrouped since the Thursday loss at New Hampshire. No matter what the outcome here turns out to be, this team has an offensive foul is the call, and Sam Rowley takes the charge on Dave Coley. They had a rough game Thursday, Zach, and then they've had off since then.
Yep.
So a lot of time to practice, to watch film, all of those things to gear up for tonight, and then right back at you on Saturday against Vermont.
You know, I talked to Sam Rowley before the game. I said, how's the last couple days been? He goes, it's been like training camp.
Yeah.
He said, we got sent back to square one by coach, and it has really paid off. And I'll tell you what, I had someone once tell me they didn't believe in momentum, that each play was its own. He had never been in a game like this one, because it is all UAlbany. You could tell that momentum is pushing them in the back.
Yeah, Stony Brook's a little bit like just out of sorts, a little bit deflated here. There's still a lot of time on the clock with 8:45 to go. Cameron Mitchell returns, the 6'4" redshirt freshman. UAlbany will apply a 1-2-2 zone press here. Stony Brook has had a lot of turnovers here, Zach. Next time we get a chance to check the stats here in this second half. And a block by John Puck on Walker. Gets his own rebound, misses. Warney gets it, put back, no good. And Puck the rebound.
And Anthony Jackson was going to try to dunk that.
Ooh, that would have brought the house down. And Evans knocked out with him. There is some energy in this building. Fans are enjoying this one tonight, and another turnover. Yes, it is. Another turnover against Stony Brook, as Mitchell went down to get the loose ball and was on the out-of-bounds line. John Puck aggressive tonight and playing really well. 6 points, 3 rebounds, has the 1 block. Coming up on the next media timeout here with inside 8 minutes to go. Johnson, another take to the rim. Missed, tip no good by Rowley. Second effort by Sam Rowley is good. They're dominating in every area, Zach.
There's no other way to put it than the statement you just said. And you talk about being out-muscled. Sam Rowley, a man possessed on the offensive boards.
Mitchell way off. Walker, weak side rebound. Still a scramble for it, and a foul now finally called on UAlbany. That'll lead to foul shots from Jameel Warney, and we'll come back right after this timeout on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
You know, the holiday season is behind us, folks. A lot of you spend a lot of money on Christmas. Therefore, this is very important when you go into the Facillo dealerships, because this is what you need to bring with you. No money down. Our lease is absolutely phenomenal right now, and they're all calculated with no money down. So if you think after the holiday season you can't buy a car, you're wrong. Probably the most aggressive we're ever going to be throughout the year is now. Come and see us. We're going to make you huge.
Thinking about a new car or truck this year? Think Leah Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. With over 400 vehicles in stock, the choice is clear. Lease the all-new Jeep Cherokee Sport, just $188 a month. Buy a Chrysler 200, $16,995. Or a new Dodge Dart SXT, $15,995. Plus, financing as low as 0% on some of Leah's hottest models. Leah Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram on Central Ave in Colony. Open 7 days a week. Or leahcars.com.
Leah.
And an active John Puck tonight. There he is. Nice hook shot in the lane for the senior from Waterloo, Iowa. There's a nice effort on the offensive rebound and putback. And then here he is again, hitting that short jumper. It's amazing what a difference a game can make.
How about that?
I mean, he'll look back and go, he had a couple of those at New Hampshire, knocks those in. They walk out of that gym with a win. Here he is tonight, different. Couple days later, everything's feeling a little different, and he is as confident as ever burying that jumper.
It's so true. And you referenced the New Hampshire game where he went 1 for 9 from the field, had 2 chances to win it in the last 10 seconds. Yeah. I'll tell you what, that's the best part about athletics. You can always redeem yourself. There's always an opportunity for redemption if you're on the floor. And he's also the Division I all-time blocks leader in the history of this program. He's had a nice career, and he wants to finish it out the right way.
And they turn it over again. That time Anthony Jackson just couldn't hang on to the ball right in front of the UAlbany bench on a long throw from Walker, who was stuck underneath the basket. And these turnovers, there are a ton of them here by Stony Brook in the second half.
That's their 15th turnover on the game.
Yeah, and let's find out how many of those came in the second half. Spinning on the baseline and walking with the ball is Sam Rowley.
I got that number for you right here, partner. Look like keep the halftime stat sheet, do a little subtraction. 15 minus 5. 10 turnovers here in the last 14 minutes of play.
I'm just saying, right? It certainly feels that way. Probably feels that way to Steve Pikel, too. His team again coming in 7-0 in the conference. A hard-fought win on Friday night at home against Vermont. They double-team Warney. Walker for 3, no good. Over the back. King. That's Scott King called for the over the back. He's a 6'10 sophomore. 3 on King. Team foul number 6 on Stony Brook with 6:24 to go in this second half, and it has been all Great Danes. Really from about the 15-minute mark or so on in that first half, they just started to play better and take control of the game. That time, though, UAlbany turns it over. King on the left wing. Open shot for Jackson, and he buries it. This game is not over yet, though. There's still a lot of time with 5:55 to go. This game is not done. And Will Brown is going to call a timeout. I think he's going to make sure he tells his guys, you know what, we're doing well here. The game's not over. 5 minutes and 52 seconds remaining. Let's not let this lead slip away and make this a game down the stretch.
And you can't deviate from the recipe that got you this lead in the first place. You have to continue to keep your foot on the gas and be aggressive. You know, it's not any time to run the football, if you will. You got to continue to try to score on these guys and give the same effort defensively.
And Zach, this is all that's left. Vermont, Big Purple Growl on Saturday. And next week, it's UMass, Lowell, and Hartford on the road. UMass Lowell here, Hartford on the road, UMBC on the road. And then home to Maine, on the road to Binghamton, home to New Hampshire, and we'll play, you always play this same Stony Brook team on March 2nd at Stony Brook, and then it's tournament time. So counting tonight, going in tonight, there were 9 games left on the schedule, only 4 road games. Sam Rowley working down low, back out front to Hooley. And they can be patient with this lead and work the shot clock, which is now at 10. And Hooley for 3. No good. Warney the rebound. Three-point shot, no good from the right wing, and the rebound to Evans. The shot was no good by Chris Braley, a freshman.
And I'm sure the goal for head coach of Stony Brook, Steve Peichel, is let's get this thing within single digits with under 3.5 or 4 minutes to play.
Rowley, strong take to the lane, offensive foul. They're going to call Rowley for an offensive foul. Now that is 3 on Rowley, but he really, getting 3 now is not good, but he has not been in foul trouble tonight. Sometimes he gets foul trouble right from the beginning of the game, but not tonight. Rowley double-double, 12 points, 10 rebounds, 4th double-double of the season for Sam Rowley. This team still needs to get to the finish line with the lead. It over again. 16 turnovers. Straight to the rim. He tried to dunk it. Where did he take that leap from? That was a dangerous leap there as he crashed into the board or into the, almost went to stands here. Watch it again.
That would have wound up on the 4-letter network's top 10 plays. Are you kidding me? I thought there was no possible way, the angle or the distance away with a defender in front of him, that Gary Johnson would try to attempt that. And I'll tell you what, if he put that thing down, we might as well put the headsets down and let the rest of this thing go with some natural sound, because what could we add?
Nothing. Let the pictures describe everything. But if you're Gary Johnson, what did he see there that led him to say, you know what, I can dunk this? I don't know what he's seeing on that play.
Well, he knows his own ability, and he missed it, not because he wasn't high enough, because he actually rattled off the back of the iron, which means he's over the hoop with the ball. He just didn't put it down. That would have been one for the century.
Yeah, Will Brown doesn't need him injured either. That's a dangerous play. He crashed pretty hard after that one. But he makes a couple of more foul shots. And UAlbany up 64-47 as King hits a 3 and Peichel calls a timeout. Scott King, 6'10" sophomore, with that kind of range is pretty impressive. And a 17-point lead down to 14 with 4:21 remaining.
And I can almost guarantee you, as we saw the Stony Brook huddle and these guys looking up to the clock, they're trying to segment this game and say, hey, let's win the next minute by 4. And taking a look at the next, look at their upcoming schedule for Stony Brook. I mean, every single one of those games are going to be continued to be favored, and maybe besides the game at Vermont.
Yeah, that'll be a tough one at Vermont. But Hartford at Binghamton, New Hampshire, UMass Lowell on the road, UMBC home, at Maine, at Vermont, and then the Great Danes come their way. They're still not in their new facility yet.
Yes. They have a big renovation, and
it's been going on forever.
I went on their website and saw it, and that's a very, very impressive facility constructing.
And the press bothering the Great Danes, and Hooley hits hard. They're going to call a foul on Dave Coley. And that's the 8th team foul against Stony Brook. So these will be foul shots coming up for Peter Hooley with a 14-point lead. tell you what, this game is so mental, too. I mean, you probably, Stony Brook, as much as Michael tried to say, UAlbany could be a dangerous team at home tonight, they're probably looking, you know what, they lost at New Hampshire. Yeah. They're looking at, the guys look at scores, they get in their head that, maybe we're going to go in there and just take care of business. And UAlbany, on the other hand, coming off a loss like that, and they're feeling people talking about them, too, saying, boy, UAlbany's not, they don't have it this year, and they're not going to be there I don't know what they're going to be able to do against the top two teams. And here they go, come out, and if they can hang on here, they make a real statement with this win. That's what this would be. This would be a statement win, 100%. Walker to Warney. Boy, he whipped that pass cross court in a hurry out of the post. A little quiet in the scoring column here in the second half. And that time he shoots up an air ball, went off to Sam Rowley with 8 to shoot. We get to our final media timeout. 3:48 to go. Second half, UAlbany enjoying a 15-point lead on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
My purpose? Making sense of all of this.
Less time banking.
More time tickling.
Wheels.
2 words. New car.
Who's our partner? SEFQ.
SEFQ.
What's your purpose? If it's a new car, SEFQ can get you there with great low auto loan rates and quick approval. Just click, call, or stop by. SEFQ, banking with a purpose.
My purpose? Haven't decided. But my partner is SEFQ.
All-Star Wine and Spirits at Latham Farms is loading up for the holidays. No need to fight over nickels. Shop low prices with our knowledgeable staff. Stop by and check out our great selection of organic wine and spirits. All-Star Wine and Spirits, where you don't have to look like a warehouse to have warehouse prices. All-Star Wine and Spirits at Latham Farms is loading up for the holidays. No need to fight over nickels. Shop low prices with our knowledgeable staff. Stop by and check out our great selection of sakis. All-Star Wine and Spirits, where you don't have to look like a warehouse to have warehouse prices.
Roger Weiland and Zach Vibe, and we'll be right back with you here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel next week. Wednesday night, UMass Lowell comes in to take on the Great Danes, and that was a overtime loss at UMass Lowell back on January 15th, 70-66. Another game that UAlbany just didn't play well. They had guys injured that night. Peter Hooley didn't play that night. Sam Rowley was really feeling the effects of a wrist injury, and that didn't go well in overtime.
And that's going to be a big-time retribution game, the same one that Stony Brook came in with the mindset today after getting beaten in the America East Tournament by Albany.
Jackson gets Evans to leave his feet, but misses the shot. And DJ with the rebound, avoiding the double team in the backcourt to Hooley up to Pop. And now with 3:30 to go and a 15-point lead, to take a heck of an effort by Stony Brook to come back in this one. And a foul on the double team to Hooley. This will go against Anthony Jackson, and will put Peter Hooley at the line, stopping the clock with 3:24 remaining.
His first personal foul, team foul number 9.
There's the reach-in foul call, putting Peter Hooley to the line. Peter tonight with 6 points, 1 of 7 from the floor, 1 of 4 from three-point range, but 3 of 4 from the line. Albany 18 of 22 from the foul line tonight. That's more like it. Make it 19 of 23. And Stony Brook has only been to the line 6 times. They're 4-6. So foul shooting factors in this differential as well tonight for the Great Danes. Peter makes them both. And they're up by 17, Zach, with 3:20 to go. King, long three. And it's good. Man, that was from deep range. 6'10" kid. I mentioned that just a couple minutes ago. He hit one from deep in the left corner. That was way out beyond the top of the key. And a full timeout taken by Steve Peichel, as the Great Danes try to pull off the upset here against a team that has not lost a game in a conference. But I don't know, do you call it a big upset or is it an upset? I mean, they are on their home court, but the way Stony Brook has been playing, the way UAlbany played coming in, it's definitely an upset.
Oh, it's for sure an upset, but I would say it's a big upset, and here's why. If Albany lost this game, they would not only go to the middle of the pack in the league at 500 inside of America East play, lost 2 of their last 3, and they'd go to under 500 on the season. I mean, this is a UAlbany team for most of the way has been about average. 10-10 overall record right now. And it's against a Stony Brook team who's going to have another 22-23 win season. They're 15-6 right now. They're 7-0, a perfect mark in the league. They're riding a 7-game winning streak. It's just, I would put it in that category, especially considering the teams Albany's lost to recently.
Yeah, and especially with Vermont coming in here on Saturday, too. They're going to feel pretty good about themselves. Speaking of Vermont, they are up on Hartford in the second half, 53-44. UMBC winning at Binghamton, 61-47. And Maine with a lead at New Hampshire, 58-54. And there is former Siena head coach Mitch Bonaguro and his wife taking this one in tonight here at SEPQ. Classy guy, always like Mitch Bonaguro. Taking a year off, hopefully getting some R&R and relaxing a little bit. DJ Evans sets up John Hunt. And that may have been the exclamation point right there on this night and win for UAlbany.
Are you kidding? The athleticism of the 6'10 center, John Puck. And he's having fun, and so is everyone else in here in the SEPQ arena. You know, I was asked recently, what's the best way to get a scholarship? Be 6'10 and be able to hit your head on the rim. That's my best advice. Look at John Puck. Good for him.
Warning. Once he gets you on his back and turns, there's no stopping him. And him at unofficially now 21 points. To lead all scores, Jameel Warney. And a turnover, and Jackson lays it in. Still 2:39 remaining. 9 team fouls against Stony Brook. The next one will put UAlbany in a double bonus. Nice little head fake down low by Sam Roy, and the layup is good. And Sam now with 16 points. That shot by King is just short.
And the stat we threw out earlier in the game is when Albany hit 70 points, they were 6-0 entering today's game. They just hit 71, and looks like that trend will continue.
Sure does. Timeout, Will Brown. Shot clock at 21. 2:03 to go. And he's still giving his team the Dickens. And they have played just, I don't want to say flawlessly, but have we seen them play better
Not this year? No.
I mean,
maybe Hartford.
Were they better in Hartford? They made 16 threes.
Yes, that was more shot making. I think this team today has made more plays, but hit less shots. They've played a more complete game. They've out-rebounded Stony Brook. They've out-competed them in pretty much every phase of the game. They've taken better control of the basketball at the same time by forcing Stony Brook to turn the basketball over from a defensive approach.
I tell you what, a good coaching job by Will Brown and his staff, because that team was down leaving New Hampshire on Thursday night, and he's toughened them up here a little bit and got them right back to where they need to be. And this is going to be a huge victory here on the home court at SEPQ with 1:54 to go. And it's big because Vermont, who they lost to by 30, comes here for the Growl on Saturday, where they expect a sellout crowd they normally do for the Growl. And Vermont is the opponent in a women's and men's doubleheader at 5 and 7 o'clock, and one of the biggest events of the year here. Well, actually, it is the biggest event in terms of basketball. So, you know, they're going to try to now this team's going to feel pretty confident. These students who are here, they're all going to come back. They're going to have a lively atmosphere here on Saturday night for the Growl and Vermont in town.
And I'll tell you what, You know who's not going to be short on fodder to give his team? Is John Becker, the head coach at Vermont, who's now, if this game will continue the way it has and UAlbany will win, will be tied for first place and will be able to tell his team, guess what? This UAlbany team that you beat by 32 weeks ago just knocked off the #1 team. Do I need to remind you what they did to us in the America East Championship? You know, so there's going to be a lot of, momentum leading up to Saturday's game.
Yeah, there'll be some coaches and teams looking at this score going, wow. Jackson for 3. We don't know what happened to Carson Purifoy. He's really good. He's a double-digit scorer. He's a sophomore, and he has not been, didn't start and hasn't gotten off the bench. DJ Evans is tied up. Possession arrow favoring Stony Brook with 1:23 to go.
And Will Brown is arguing with the official saying, hey, I said it 6 times. And DJ Evans had control of the basketball for about 2 to 3 seconds while on the ground. He ripped it away from Jackson and was strong with it from his knees. And Will Brown was debating and saying, hey, we should have been awarded a timeout.
Yeah, it's a 12-point game. Walker with a good take and got it to go. It's a 10-point game with 1:10 remaining. DJ almost walked, and then Johnson is fouled and will go to the line. With 1:06 remaining, Stony Brook has got the lead down to 10. It was up as many as 17 here. It's the biggest lead overall, 17 by the Great Danes. Down to a 10-point game with Gary Johnson, who's played tremendous tonight. Phenomenal performance. 15 points tonight. Made a 3-point shot, Zach, in the first half. First made 3 of the season.
First made 3-pointer, first attempted
unbelievable
3-pointer of the season for Gary Johnson.
I figured he threw up one somewhere along the line.
No, but I checked it several times throughout the year because I'm thinking, at some point you almost, but by necessity, you have to put one up.
Against his own, you're absolutely wide open. Shot clock winding down.
Yep.
You're going to fire one up. Minute to go. UAlbany's going to get a victory here. Get the 5-3 in hand. Stony Brook, their first loss in the conference, is an and-1 on Walker with 56 seconds to go. Back to a 10-point game. He's going to be a tremendous player in their program, too. Ahmad Walker, Rookie of the Week in the America East, reigning back-to-back. For this young man, Walker, a 6'4" freshman. And UAlbany facing the press right away. Gary Johnson up to Hooley. And they foul Peter. Outstanding foul shooter with 47.5 to go. And that's going to do it for Scott King. That's 5 on King. He'll foul out here. So Peichel will call his team over and figure out who's going to replace Scott King in the lineup. It was a little different, though, with Peichel tonight when we saw, Cameron Mitchell and Ben Resner. We mentioned that in the first half, guys that have not played a lot here. Looking right there at Cameron Mitchell, a redshirt freshman. I didn't have him in the playing group, which means I didn't have him in the first 10 guys. But maybe without Purifoy tonight, he decided he's going to use a couple of guys that, like you said, playing well in practice and give him a chance. I mean, Resner is a senior. Mitchell's only a redshirt freshman.
And Carson Purifoy is a big loss. There's no question about
no
it.
doubt.
And it leads me to believe that it's some sort of disciplinarian action because he's suited up, but he doesn't have any visible injury as far as tape or brace or anything of that nature.
Will Brown sitting on the bench, hanging out. Jeremy Friel kind of just kicked back. Coach Friel, hanging out, waiting for the seconds to tick away here. Just another win.
Just like that, he's up and yelling again. You can't, as a coach, it's much like competing. It's tough to shut it off.
And a foul on UA as Braley drives the baseline, and he'll shoot a couple of shots with 36.8 seconds remaining. There you see the score. For those who can't see it, it's 76-65. We have some people, Zach, listening to us tonight, not in front of a TV screen. We always appreciate them hanging out with us as well, as Braley's foul shot, a freshman, drops through. Back to a 10-point game. And a 9-point game. Roller gets it into Hooley. DJ Evans throws it over the double team. Back to Hooley. And a foul. Pretty hard foul by Cameron Mitchell.
And I think Will Brown will say he got fouled that hard because you didn't call the very first foul.
And maybe that was on Mitchell, or they call that on Walker? Yeah, that's on Walker with the hard foul. Here it is again.
And he thought he got fouled all over the arms right there by Cameron Mitchell. And Will Brown saying, hey.
And that's 5 on Mitchell. He's out. 5 on Walker, rather. Ahmad Walker fouls out of the game. So when you get into these kind of games and you get a lot of fouls down the stretch, you kind of felt like the outcome has been decided here for a little bit. It takes you forever to get to the finish line. This is more like we've seen UAlbany shooting foul shots. The last 2 games have been a tough stretch at the charity stripe, but tonight back into Great Dane form.
There's no question about it. And really, at the end of the day, the America East Tournament is here in Albany again.
And we'll talk to Will Brown on the post game. In fact, we'll talk to him. Zach will immediately following this game, which has 20 seconds left. Long 3 by Jackson, way off the mark. And UAlbany's getting a win here tonight. And a big one on the home court to knock off previously undefeated Stony Brook. Really no need to foul here. Pikel can call off the Dogs, and the standing ovation from the SEPQ UAlbany fans. Now, best win of the year in the conference, no doubt about that. That's a heck of a win. Bring on Vermont Saturday night. And bring the fans out for Big Purple Growl. I just want to know what Will Brown is going to say to Zach at the end of the interview. I will almost predict it'll be something. Could be wrong. Let's see how this one goes. Let's check in with Zach By, and he's got Will Brown.
Coach, it's been well documented. Some tough losses leading up to today. You faced the #1 team in the league. The last time you played them on this court, you upset them, went on to the America East Championship. Again, same result here tonight.
Yeah, I'm proud of our guys. We've been struggling. Had 3 good days of practice. We just haven't seen the carry over. Stony Brook's a talented team. They're a good team. We withstood their runs. Our guys played well. We did what we needed to do. I think tonight they showed what they're capable of doing. You know, and I told them, I said, don't tell me, show me. You know, hopefully this is the first step. You got to have 2 great days of practice and get ready for Vermont. They buried us up there, and we need to play a whole lot better than we did up there and better than we did tonight if we're going to beat Vermont on Saturday. I'm looking forward to practice tomorrow and see if we can build off this.
Well, enjoy this one for tonight while it lasts, Coach.
Thank you. I mean it. Much better with the ties.
Thank you very much, Coach. The obligatory one-liner from Coach Brown, joined now by Gary Johnson. Gary, you're playing the best basketball over a stretch of time that you've ever played UAlbany. How does it feel?
Man, it feels real good, especially getting a win tonight against the #1 team. You know, coaches told me to be aggressive. And early in the season, I was settling for the jumper, and he just said, man, you could get to the rack, so just be aggressive. And I listened to him, and it worked out for us.
Well, I got to ask you about the one play that came down in transition. You know what play I'm talking about, partner? You put Sean McAllister on the poster. How'd that feel at home?
Man, it felt good. I seen him backing up, and I knew he didn't see me when he was backing up, so I just tried to take off. I took off a little too too far, but, you know, I got everybody excited, so that's what it's all about.
Hey, man, congratulations, Gary.
All right, thank you.
All right, hey, that was Gary Johnson. Roger, back to you after a big win.
All right, thank you, Zach. Bye. And Gary Johnson ends up leading UA with 19 points. We'll come back and wrap things up. Big win for UAlbany, 77-67 on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
The excitement is building. It's the biggest game of the year, and Price Chopper can help you tackle the hungriest of fans with 2 of our fresh single-topping corner-to-corner pizzas, along with 2 pounds of our irresistible wings, all for just $19.99. Plus, all varieties of Cracker Barrel brick cheeses are 5 for $10. Let Price Chopper help you turn your football game party into the ultimate football game party with ultimate savings on all your big game favorites.
What's the worst mistake I've ever made?
That shirt.
Not letting me go live in the woods.
Not letting him go live in the woods. The muffin incident.
That was an accident. But how about getting our family stuck with this Verizon Fios contract?
Oh, yeah.
But guess what, guys? Dad's pulling this one out of the fire.
We're switching to Time Warner Cable?
That's right. Time Warner Cable doesn't require long-term contracts.
Nice.
Make the better call.
Call 1-855-WANT-TWC to get a triple play for $79.99 a month. Get 5 premium movie channels free for 3 months. Time Warner Cable. Enjoy better.
They asked me if I mind doing a commercial in the rain. I said, at this number, I'd love to do it. And I'm here to tell you, by the way, Billy Vs Senior, the all-new Fusillo Volkswagen. Folks, don't miss the opportunity to come in. We have over 50 to choose from, $199 a month. Now, that's incredible. No money down, 0 down. It's a sign and drive lease. You're not going to want to miss the opportunity. The all-new 2014 VW Passat, where everything is das huge.
True luxury isn't found following convention, because true luxury follows no one. Its beauty provokes, its touch seduces, its power frees. We believe true luxury liberates. The all-new Infiniti Q50.
Lease an all-new Q50 from $369 a month, only at Leah Infiniti.
An impressive performance and victory on the home court for UAlbany to go to 5-3 in the America East, and they hand Stony Brook their first loss in conference play. They were 7-0 now, 7-1, 77-67. And Zach Bye joins me as we wrap things up here. And what can you say? You and I have seen them all year long, and this certainly in the conference, the best they have played.
Oh, there's not any doubt about it. They have not put 40 minutes together like we saw tonight since last season when they beat Stony Brook and Vermont in the same weekend, the number 1s and number 2 seed. It was a complete all-around effort. They really out-toughed Stony Brook from start to finish.
Let's take a look at the stats and see what they have to say, if they help tell this story. And UAlbany shot the ball well at 51% tonight, including 46% from three-point range. I look at the foul shooting. I was big on that all game, and they were 26 of 32. Not been shooting well from the line the last 2 games, but not long ago, number 2 in the country. So they're back on pace there. They win the rebounding. Turnovers, Stony Brook had a bunch of them, as you well know, in the second half. It really hurt them. The team fouls, 24-14. So foul shooting tonight, more like what we've seen most of this season.
And just getting there, the fact of the assertion on offense to get to the free throw line, it's an amazing statistic. They were 1 made free throw away from making 3 times as many foul shots as Stony Brook attempted. And a lot of times coaches will go to the glass and they'll go to the free throw attempts to how tough you were for 40 minutes. This one's easy to figure out.
All right, you and I will be back here, I believe, Wednesday next week. Yep. UMass Lowell comes in. It'll be a Time Warner Cable Sports Channel game. And then everybody in the Capital Region who's a fan of UAlbany will be here on Saturday as it's Big Purple Growl. The doubleheader starts with the women and then the men both against Vermont.
You can be sure it's always a big weekend, always a lot of fun.
You got it. Thank you, Zach. And that'll put the wraps on the broadcast for our producer, Greg Bobbitt, and his entire crew. For Zach Bye, I'm Roger Weiland. So long, everybody. UAlbany with a big win, 77-67 over Stony Brook on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Good night, everyone.
In life, there are things that count. And at NBT Bank, what counts most to you counts to us. From exceptional service to a commitment to deliver the very best in community banking. No matter what you're trying to achieve, you can count on us to help you succeed.
We now join our regularly scheduled program already in progress.
Colgate wanted to control the pace tonight, and so far, so good in that respect. Joe Wilson, third goal of the year, 9 points, and Denny, the action has been fast and furious so far.
Yeah, I mean, both teams like to play fast. The thing that's remarkable, neither team's been able to establish much of a forecheck. I mean, the goal, it was just Colgate skating hard. They got a good break, and they capitalized. But I think both teams have to be pleased with the energy. They both have good legs. They're making good passes. Colgate's capitalized on the break, and you got to give them credit for that.
Colgate winners of 4 straight undefeated in 5 consecutive games, including a tie against #1, unanimously ranked #1, Minnesota. This puck covered up by Finn off a deflection that started from Fossen's stick. It's been, we were talking to Don Vaughn before the game, it's been a tremendous out-of-conference schedule for Colgate, which has really tested itself against the best teams, playing #1 and #2 back-to-back days.
How about that weekend? You know, that's great news for Coach Vaughn and his program, and he's really raved about